Hi there, Agile friends. I'll come in here just with a quick note to let you know that the Agile Online Summit 2022 is coming soon. To know more, check out bit.ly/AOS2022. That's all one word, all lowercase, bit.ly/AOS2022. Now, stick around to the end of the episode if you want to know more, but for now, on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Tuesday this week with Pedro Silva. Hey, Pedro. Welcome back.
Hi, Vasco. Happy to be here.
So, Pedro, on Tuesdays, we talk about teams and how sometimes they can become their own worst enemies. But before we dive into that, do share with us, what was the book that most influenced you in your career as a Scrum Master?
So the book that influenced me most in my career as a Scrum Master is actually a book that I heard about in your podcast. So I'd really like to convey attention to this book because it really played a role, also not in my professional life as a Scrum Master, but also in my personal life, which is The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey. So this book talks about trust, like how do you build trust and what is trust about. And it really gave me insights on trust itself as a mechanism. How can you build trust with people? Which is something definitely that we don't spend typically enough time. We are more focusing in systems to fight problems and to confirm that other people are not deceiving us, other than depositing actually time in building that trust. And for me, it was very revealing and helped me a lot in the task of building trust with the teams I work with.
And is there a model or a tool or an approach that you read about in the book that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, the book is very extensive, but there is actually one point that the book refers to that it kind of changed my perspective on trust, which is trust is not only something that is built up on a relationship. For example, I can give you a very clear example. It's like Vasco, I cherish you a lot, and you are a very good friend. I trust you, and I can make sure that you have the best intentions. But I know, Vasco, that maybe you cannot cook very well. And if you are going to tell me, yeah, Pedro, I'm going to cook dinner for you, maybe I might tell you, Vasco, that is not a very good idea. Maybe let's do it at my place and I will do it for you. And so this is a fictive example, of course. Vasco, I don't know if you can cook very well. But this is a clear example that shows that trust has different streams, right? So I need to trust you as a person, to trust that you have the values that go against what I believe that is a trustable person. But then I also need to trust that you are technically also in the position to perform a task, for example. Yeah.
And actually, that's very important, because one thing is to trust the person, another thing is to trust the person to deliver on a specific task. Those are different, or it is trust, but it's trust applied to different things.
Yeah, and actually, I also give this example to some friends. It's like, so I want to buy a car from a friend, right? And I know that he's really good with cars, right? And I know that he took care of his car perfectly. So I trust him as a person. I trust that he will do the business with me, and I trust also that the car is in good conditions. Probably I will just, shake hands and buy the car. If I think that he's not very good with cars, I will probably not accept to buy the car without him taking it officially to the
Inspection,
workshop,
yeah.
to the inspection, right? So I'd say, hey, can you please give me like inspection certificates? So that costs money, right? So it's like that will cost like 100, 200, 300 euro. But if I also don't have trust that he will be able to pay the money for me, maybe I will have to make a contract with him, right? And he will have to sign a paper that he's going to make business with me. And this goes on and on. For example, you need guarantees. You need the least you trust this person, the more
The more you
initiative
need
you will make.
contracts, yeah. And actually, that
Yeah.
is one thing that is even in the Agile manifesto, right? It's customer
Mhm.
collaboration over contract negotiation. But in fact, contract negotiation may be needed in relationships that haven't yet been built up to be trustful, right?
Exactly, but that is exactly the point that is mentioned. It's like uh, trust is considered of several lanes, right? Several perspectives, right? And it is not easy to say that you trust someone fully because of all the situations that you've lived in the past where you were deceived. And the question is, what they say is that people normally say that trust has no value or has no cost. And the example of the inspection or the example of the contract, the example of the lawyer that you are going to pay to check the contract, those costs are associated to trust.
Yeah,
So they are
absolutely.
talking about the cost of trust. And this is a very, very interesting assessment, and it's very revealing. So I absolutely recommend that people have a look to this book. It's amazing.
Absolutely. We'll put the link on the show notes so that people can easily find it. So, Pedro, now we turn our attention to teams and the behaviors and patterns that they develop over time that ultimately lead to problems. So, share with us a story of a team that you work with and walk us through the steps, the little things that at that time didn't seem big, but now when you look at it, you see as signs that this pattern or behavior was growing inside the team.
Um, well, I have experienced many, actually a couple of times already in teams. When I joined them, that they are not practicing what I call like inclusive communication. And this often happens on the language level. I can tell a story that of a team that when I joined them, they were speaking their mother language, even though there was a member inside the team that was not able to understand this language. And this
So
sounded like,
there's a team, whatever, 7 plus minus 2 people, and
yeah,
they all
exactly.
speak their mother tongue, even though they have somebody in the team working inside that team that did not speak the mother tongue. And this includes what, like emails and chat messages, conversations
User
within
stories,
meetings.
processes
Oh,
in
wow, that must have
Confluence.
been really tough for that person who did not speak that language.
Yes, exactly. And for me as a Scrum Master, it was a little bit strange when I joined the team and I saw that that was happening. And for me, at the beginning, it was a situation where I thought that this person could understand, she just couldn't speak, right? So as a Scrum Master, I was not really paying, I paid attention. It felt strange, but I didn't give it the required importance at that moment, until when I booked a session with each one of the team members and I arrived to that person. And then I understood that this person had arrived to the country 2 months ago.
Wow.
Wow. And that for me was a bit shocking because then I asked this person, but are you able to understand our conversations? Are you able to understand what your colleagues are saying? And she was saying, no, I cannot understand anything.
Wow.
And that's why they speak English to me when they want to talk to me. And I said, yeah, but this doesn't sound right because you don't listen to the whole discussion. You are not participating in any discussion. And from what I see, your tickets are also in this language, right? So how do you do it? And she said, yeah, I'm using Depot.
Yeah, so a translating software.
Translating tool. And then I was asking, okay, but what? How do you feel inside the team? So, are you going to speak up your mind? Should we switch the language to English? That would be a language that everybody would understand. What is your point on that? And the person said that obviously she just came to Europe and she has like visa in the probation period, and she is feeling actually that is a very high risk to put that topic on the table, because it might be that she would be kicked out of the project.
So she was afraid of bringing up the topic.
Yeah, she was afraid of breaking out the topic. And this was a lesson for me, because as a Scrum Master, it is not really your role to define what is the language that the team will use to communicate. Right? Obviously, when you are working on the global level, you are expecting that everybody will be able to speak English, but that was somehow not the case, because
So you had also an internal conflict, right? Because you wanted this team to speak the language that everybody would understand, in that case, English, but you were not
yes.
sure that you should even do that.
No, I was sure that I needed to find a way to, because I'm, let's say, defensor of inclusion. I thought that it doesn't make sense where you are in a context that you are excluding one team member, or you are not doing everything you can that he is actually in the same position as the others to
So
perform
what did you
her
do then?
role. It was a very difficult topic, because I had to bring that up in retrospective and have the problem discussed. But then I learned a lesson, which is actually something that this experience made me very interested into inclusion topics in those regards. And in the meanwhile, I understood one lesson in my life, which is. Imagine you have a group of 10 people, right? And everybody, or all the 10 people, they are eating meat, right? And they have their favorite restaurant, which is just around the corner in the office. And it has really amazing food, but has no vegan dish, right? So probably they would make a salad for you. Yeah. If you have a person joining that is vegan, probably it will be very difficult that the team will take the initiative to choose a different restaurant that will apply to this person. So I think the more expected behavior in this case, it would be that this person or eats alone in the office, or finds excuses not to be the reason, right, to change the whole group dynamic, right? It is very difficult when you are one in the middle of 10 to create this kind of influence inside the team, and especially when the person is really not open to fight, to stand for what they are feeling. It creates very difficult to create a sense in the team that there is needed, that change is needed, right? And this also showed me the role of empathy also in as when you are a professional, right? So I think one of the biggest skills of a human being is to put yourself in the position of others. Sometimes we are so focused in our work that we are not really paying attention to that kind of dynamic. But as a Scrum Master, there's not much you can do, right? Because other than promote the discussion to the inclusion topic, to discuss with them, like
Yeah, bring it up in the retrospective.
to bring it in the retrospective, and to really create awareness for the situation. But
And also, I think there's one aspect, which is that whatever the team was doing before, if we just continue, it is not deliberate, right? It's an accident, right? But if
yeah,
we have that conversation, then we can, as a team, make a decision. And if we
exactly.
make that decision as a team, then we are much more likely to stick with it instead of having somebody complain, hey, we don't speak whatever English,
Mm,
so, let's change to English. And if we don't talk about it, hey guys, have you thought that by
exactly.
writing
Yeah,
everything in whatever Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, you are excluding this person from the dialogue.
exactly. And that is a very difficult situation, which I don't have a solution other than letting people adapt, right? Letting people create the awareness and
Bring
let
up the
the
topic,
team,
yeah.
yeah, bring up the topic, decide. But it it is sometimes a lost battle, and this really displays for me, like, showed to me the role that, for example, diversity and inclusion. let's say not community of practice, or even the HR department inside teams has to promote this kind of inclusion and awareness when you are working on the global level. Because I mean, if you want to attract talents on the global level, if you want to work with offshore teams, and if you want to have like mixed cultures working for you, and you are richer because you can, as a team, you can captivate a lot more technical personnel,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
More experienced
People from other parts of the planet.
Yeah, you are not confined to a geographical limitation, right? When you are sourcing people, so if a company or enterprise is works on the global level, I think language is definitely a topic that needs to be addressed. And
Absolutely.
yeah, this is for me something really important, and it is definitely for me a self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, it's a great reminder and a topic to bring up here in a Scrum Master podcast, because we can have an impact as a community in that conversation. So thank you for doing that, Pedro.
Thank you.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around to know more about this year's Agile Online Summit. The summit will have 4 keynotes and 4 tracks you will not want to miss. The keynotes will touch on critical topics for us, from delivering on time to helping you to focus on sustainability. The 4 tracks are tools, so we'll focus on tools you need to excel at your job, but also your mission. We'll also have a track on sustainability, which is, of course, about people and their sustainable pace, but it's also about how do we bring sustainability to the products and the planet we inhabit. We'll have a 3rd track about happiness, talking about doing what we love and, most crucially, loving what we do. And finally, the 4th track will be live. It will be mostly hands-on sessions to help you roll up your sleeves together with the presenters. Oh, and we will also have a coaching clinic, as we usually do, organized to help you discuss and get inspired to solve the hardest challenges you face at work. This year, we'll have a special emphasis on interaction with your peers, so get your ticket and join the Slack at bit.ly/AOS 2022. As always, we have free tickets for anyone that wants to attend live, and the VIP tickets for those of you who want to keep the videos forever. So check them out at bit.ly/AOS 2022. I'll see you on the conference floor. Tuesday is Team Day here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, but tomorrow we talk about something that goes beyond the work we do with the teams. We will talk about how to lead change and what our guests have learned from leading and participating in change programs during their career. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.